Of BS that we unfortunately have to talk about here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show, a Hog Media production presented by Sleeper. That is Coop. I'm Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet. Like, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. Y'all don't think we deserve it. Go and give us 5 anyway and gift it. So on today's episode of the Sooner or Later Sports Show, me and Coop's got a lot of things we got to dive into, right? Like how the Sooners played awful football in a game that they actually could have won. We're going to talk about questions around BV and is he in trouble? We'll also wrap things up. We'll go around the SEC like we do every week. Poll talk, all the stuff that a lot of y'all don't want to get into. Shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. If you're not using them for daily fantasy ball, you are missing out. Use our promo code UNFAIR and they're going to hook you up. Match your first deposit at 100% up to $100. Plus, they're also going to give you $20 just for signing up. Use our promo code UNFAIR. Download the Sleeper app. Coop! Happy Sunday, man. How are you? Just got back from a soccer game. How you feeling?
Yeah, girls played up on 11v11 for their first tournament, and our girls had a great weekend. A lot of rain, and I will tell you this, toting all that crap in and out in multiple games during the rain, not very fun, but proud of my daughter. She had a great tournament, and so I didn't get to watch the game live, and so I get to be a little bit more balanced than some of y'all, so...
Yeah, watching this not live was probably a much better experience for you in comparison to a lot of us. Being able to watch a tape delayed and understanding what the outcome was going to be doesn't make it as mind-numbing. When I went back and watched it a couple more times, I got one more rewatch tonight. I try to rewatch it about 4 times, and I go slow, so it kind of makes it hard to finish up. It's technically... The 3rd and 4th time are the same because I'm going really, really slow through it and looking for particular things. So we got a lot of stuff to cover on that. But the good thing is you did get to watch it. You got understanding. You've got feelings. I talked about it. If you watched the morning after, I got my yells in there. I lost my mind a little bit. But C-Stro, this is exactly what we're here for. We're going to get you out of the blues. We're going to get you there. Because that's not what me and Coop do. We don't pull up in here and keep you in the blues. Our goal is to get you out the blues. We're going to yell. We're going to do a little screaming. We're going to do a little hollering. But we want everybody to feel a lot better about how things went down. So, first off, I believe it probably makes the most sense to start on the offensive side of the ball. Now, you know what? Switch that. Let's start on the defense because I think that as much anger that we're going to have and angst is going to populate on the offensive side of the ball. Let's start on defense first because truth be told, it was not awful on the defensive side. It wasn't as good as we wanted, but it wasn't awful. When you looked at the defense, how'd you feel about it?
I think in order to talk about the defense, you got to talk about Trinidad Chambliss. That guy had, a really, really good and a really, really bad day. I mean, he barely completed 50% of his passes. They got helped out with some penalties. Some of them, again, I agree that 100% the penalties got to stop. This is SEC ball. When you're playing every single week, I'm just gonna let you know, every single week, if you guys want to lose your minds about a 1-score game where we played like ass, like if we played like absolute garbage and lost by 35 like the South Carolina game last year, I completely understand it. We had a chance to win this game. I knew the outcome of the game, and still watching it, I was like, man, we should have won this game. But I will start with that is Trinidad Chambliss. I mean, his legs were the difference in the ball game. The difference between him being able to run the ball and John Mateer's inability. That I feel like that was the difference. I feel like every single time that we got, just any type of momentum, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot, and the officials helped out. I think on the Jaden Jackson targeting penalty or the roughing the passer penalty. If you wanted to call that on Danny Okoye for unnecessary roughness, I wouldn't have had an argument against it, but that was not a penalty. But the margins are so thin in the SEC, and especially against a top 5 team. You got a top 10 team or whatever you want to call it. You can't have those. We missed a lot of tackles. I feel like the defense probably, Jay, I talk about it all the time, and I know that I'm going to go on a rant on this, but there's a difference in snaps under duress and snaps to where you're playing well. If we had a 2-touchdown lead this whole game and the defense still played the same amount of snaps, I feel it would have been different. But it was high stress snaps. It's a big intense game, and being 10 minutes minus on the time of possession clock, that is just it's difficult. You had a little bend, but not break on the first one. You got a lot of guys misaligned. Shout outs also to Lane Kiffin and that staff. They won the day on the coaching matchup of the key spot of their offense versus our defense. The way that they ran that, our defense was coming in late. Guys didn't seem to know what they were doing correctly. And so in order to win games like this, you're going to have to clean up, number one, the penalties, number two, the tackling, and then number three, we got to get the defense calls in faster, because I'd rather have the guys paying attention and being in a good spot than them scrambling around trying to figure out what they need to do when the ball's being snapped. And so there's a lot of good on the defense, but that's my opening statement.
Yeah, there was a lot more good than I anticipated. They weren't able – like Trinidad Chambliss played a fantastic game for what you wanted him to play in that type of weather. Like the genius thing that Lane Kiffin did walking in here, twofold. One, you kind of mentioned it in the play calling and getting the plays in to try to get the perfect defensive play and set up based upon the trends and stuff that you recognize. But Lane Kiffin huddled most of the game on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not what he does. Lane has always been a tempo guy. He didn't play any tempo in his game. He didn't play tempo in his game because, one, it was raining. So with the rain coming down like that, you are more susceptible to mistakes. Heck, they had a mistake when they did a direct snap to the running back and it flew out of his hand. He would have probably caught that if it was dry outside, but it had been so wet most of the game that very easy for those erratic snaps to happen. Passes being erratic, easy. You saw Chambliss slipping and falling on the field too when he was scrambling. You saw other players. Their goal in this game was to not make a erratic cut. And they did a very good job of that. They were patient in their run game. They were patient in their blocking. They let us be very aggressive, and they let us go past them, basically. If you watched it, it was a lot of – it looked like it was an Olay, but it was purposeful. It was like as soon as we would fly off the lineman would kind of wait up, and then they would just push. And guess what happened? We'd slip every single time. They made it very easy to bunch us. And don't forget, though, in this, as you mentioned, and somebody mentioned this in the comments, the defense, this wasn't really on the D did a lot of stuff that needed to happen. There was one play that took the air out of the stadium, and we'll talk about that on the offensive side of the ball. I'm going to leave that for there. But, Coop, when I looked at this and how smart Lane Kiffin coached this, he just said, be aggressive, go right ahead. I'm going to go slow. Now, granted, Lane's going to do bonehead stuff to try to help you win. He gave us an opportunity. He gave us a window. He gave us 2 windows. We didn't want it. He gave us 2, though. But he played it in the aggressive, and he played our aggression against us so badly that it really made our defense just look terrible. Then, when he did those huddles, it was perfect. But to me, that's where, as you mentioned, getting the plays in a little bit earlier, having an idea of what to do, to me is a lot more situational. 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, They're going to go an out route. They were doing it the whole game, and they're going to continue to do that. And it's funny, and I love Jacob pointing this out in here. So many people are saying, play Hawkins, play Hawkins, play Hawkins. I could have sworn people were in the comments complaining about Hawkins in the Temple game and complaining about him in the Kent State game. I don't know what y'all want, and I'm just going to be honest on that. We'll talk about that more on offense, but on the defensive side of the ball, I got to give some flowers real quick, though, Coop. Kendall Daniels is balling.
Yes.
You see him on that screen?
Yeah. Kendall Daniels now has 2 of the top, 4 hits of the season. And I think that he was genuinely so close to, he had that read so well. The only thing I would like to see him do differently is I think he could have picked that ball and taken it to the house.
Yep, especially when he did this. He stood there.
He stood straight up. He was side to the line of scrimmage and just kind of standing up and then took off. He read it so well. I think if he would have had intercept the ball, he could have. Right. But that being said, the dude he's playing some good ball, and he plays that position very, very well. I would also have to say, Jay, Cortland Guillory, for all the angst that he took, against Auburn and some of the pass interferences that he's had. I 100% think that guy had himself had a hell of a game too. Stone continues to do David Stone things. This defense, I would say the 2 big blows, I think the 4th down, the second time that Lane went for it deep in his territory, I think that that one, we just played it incorrectly. Yep. And I think that that was probably the one where I was just like, oh my goodness, this is just tough. But again, I think that you look at Chambliss 24-44. He had some bigger passes. There were some missed tackles. I got to get on to some guys too. There are some guys that we just need better game plan out of because with the safety depth that we have, Robert Spears Jennings, I need you to be better. At this point, there's just too many times to where, I see there's just not enough out of him, and there's a lot of missed tackles. Boganowski had himself a good game, and there needs to be a conversation probably sometime soon. But we rotate so many guys in and out that there's just a lot of times to where we see guys in on plays, and I'm not 100% sure why we're switching some of the corners in and out so quickly. But man, Jay, I just don't. The defense, like I said, it's high stress. You watch situations going on last night, or it was last night, the World Series. You can throw 9 innings in a game and throw 125 pitches and it not be high stress pitches if you're playing with the lead and you're not in conflict the whole time. And it can look completely different where you throw 90 pitches in a 6-inning spot and it's high stress pitches. And this defense, this was a game where I think that the offense and then the one turnover really put the defense in tough spots. But again, Jay, they played 10 more minutes than the Ole Miss defense did. And they were high stress. And so to ask that of your defense, they did a hell of a job with the hand that they were dealt.
Yeah, it's crazy how many snaps we played in this game, that we end up playing in this game. I didn't think that we didn't play as many as I thought we did, but it felt like with that time differential, which is one thing that Lane does not do. And I was actually talking to my guy, Steven, over there on Locked On Ole Miss, and that was the one thing he pointed out. He was like, this was the anomaly for Lane Kiffin at 35 minutes of possession. Lane's usually in the 20s, 25, 26 range. He's never over 30. It's a rarity. And this was one of those games. And how did he do that, Coop? He huddled. There was no tempo. It was just smart. It was smart, just We're going to take our time, be super conservative. We're going to wait. And then boom, 15 seconds left on the clock. Now go break the huddle. BV can't call that play out. Now they got to use their hand signals, and we can try to catch those. Smart. That's what you're supposed to do. The D-line was getting some pressure. They needed to get more, but they couldn't get as much as they would normally get. You run into the bigger issue with them was that as they were getting downhill, that line was doing a really good job of making sure they slipped when they came across them. But let's not take away from the fact that, Coop, this defense had they had 14 tackles for loss. They continued the BV stat. They were in the backfield disruptive. Second half, third quarter was probably our best quarter of play. Third quarter was a really good play of football from us. It felt like we knew what we were doing at that point.
It's this the Ole Miss offensive line's not giving up 8 sacks all season long. They were not giving up sacks, not giving up tackles for loss. These guys aren't, I don't think that they're, Joe Moore award-winning offensive line, but they play well. And that's, you said it right. It's 100% correct, Jay, is this offense is, by far the best offense that we've played. Extremely dynamic. They got great wide receivers. They got a hell of a day out of their freshman wide receiver. They really, that was the most clean game, and they tried to give it away. And again, guys, it's still you have an opportunity, and we'll touch on the offense here in a minute, but they had an opportunity to go down and tie the game, at the end of the game, which is what you ask for. It's going to be a one-possession game. It's going to be the same next week. It's going to be the same in 3 weeks. It's going to be the same every single season, every single game that we play for the rest of the year. It really is the small portions of this. But again,
it's the little things. The little things that's kicking our tail.
It's the little things. And you can't look at that game. And so for everybody saying, let's go out and can BV and let's go out and fire all these people. And folks, in Sooner Cowboys, as much as I love you, and it's good to see you back in the Doomer spot, dropping the 6-6 prediction for the rest of the year. Do you want to start this all over again? This defense played well enough to win the game, and that's silly to say because it's not like we were giving up these big busted plays and bombs down the field. Lane Kiffin wanted to hide what he was doing. He wanted to run to the line, and he wanted to show us something, and he knew if we showed up in A, he was going to audible to B. If we showed up in B, he was going to audible to A. And the game plan was great. It really was. And I promise you this is that's the best defense they play for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
They won.
Exactly what it
was. Here's the thing, Jay, is sometimes you play a game. We played a C- game all the way around and lost by a possession.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. You play a C- game on defense, which you're never going to play every game perfectly. Even Georgia in their heydays, Alabama in their heydays, they had one game where they struggled. They have coaches that are a problem. And Lane is an offensive genius for a reason. That's the reason why he gets praised for that, because he is legitimately considered an offensive genius in the way that he calls plays. He's smart. He did everything that you're looking for. And for us, the biggest thing now is we need a quarterback that's going to do the job of do everything that you need in order to win games, basically, is where we're at. We need a quarterback that's going to do that. And so because we're talking about we need a quarterback to do that, we, of course, got to go ahead and pay at least one bill real quick. Shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. If you're not using them for daily fantasy ball, you are 100% missing out. They've got some of the best odds and options available in the daily fantasy world. And so we're going to make a couple of picks here while I am sitting here talking to y'all, because I know y'all upset, and I get it. But we're going to look at some of these NFL games here in the evening. And so Sunday night, we got Josh Jacobs Tulsa boy that went to Alabama. Whack. We'll take him, but I'm definitely going to take Aaron Rodgers on the less because I just don't trust Aaron Rodgers like most do. But he may give it to DK Metcalf. There's a possibility. We may run with that. Jordan Love, he's going to definitely scramble all over the Steelers because that's just how things work. And we'll take Tucker Kraft to go less. You can even mix that up outside of there. You can leave the football. You can get some NBA action in there. The Thunder, unfortunately, do not play. But I will take some money on Austin Reed. So pick 2 or more players, pick more or less, and see if you can beat me. These are my entries. You see what I got. See if you can outdo me. Check out Sleeper. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They will hook you up and give you $100. They're going to match your first deposit at 100% up to $100. They're going to give you $100 if you do $100. And they're going to give you $20 just for signing up. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you are new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Coop, we got to talk about the offensive side. And everybody's losing their minds in the comment section, which cracks me up. The Fire BV stuff is funny because the defense is still ranked as one of the tops in the country, and it's a pain for everybody. We played them in the rain. Like, let's not, forget that part. They played it smart in the rain because they were slow. We were trying to go fast. You can't go fast in the rain. So we shot ourselves fully in the foot. But again, Coop, like you said, 1 possession game, we could have came back. But BV even said this recently. You ain't winning in this league, in this conference, in college football, if your quarterback ain't playing very well. And John McTeer has been cheeks since he came back from his injury. A lot of y'all want to say he sucks. Sure, he sucks right now. He does. He didn't suck against Michigan. He didn't suck against Auburn when he got hurt and actually played with the injury. He didn't suck before that. He sucks right now. I agree. He don't suck overall. He got to get his head out of his tail and start actually hitting wide receivers that are wide open. And to me, it feels like, and I heard Gabe talking about it, and he was ripping him up, and he was 100% right in ripping him up. I went back and rewatched the video a couple of times. I point blame still at Ben Arbuckle with his play call, but the execution still got to be there too. He's got to make this stuff easier for Mateer right now, just because Mateer is trying to figure out what the heck he's going to do. It doesn't make any sense for us to think that on the defensive side of the ball we didn't have development when we really got dudes that are NFL caliber on that side of the ball. We just need the offense to freaking participate for a change. And that's where the problem's coming in here. The offense has not been participating. They're not holding their own weight. But here's the thing, Coop. This is what pisses me off about it. This is where I blame Ben Arbuckle, even though John Mateer was missing wide open passers. The running backs were figuring it out, dog. Xavier Robinson figured it out. He took it up the hole, bounced to the outside, took it up 65 yards. Then the next possession, he ran it in for a 9-yard touchdown. Guess what Xavier Robinson did, Coop? He figured it the freak out. We kept talking about how there's no run lanes and we have no holes. Torrey Blaylock figured it out last week. What happened this week? Xavier Robinson figured it out against a team that he could figure it out on. That's what you should have been doing it. As every time we ran the ball, Xavier Robinson got an average of like 6 yards in his 4 carries. He had 1-1-yard run, and he had like a 7, an 8, and a 6 or something like that. He was eating whenever they actually started giving him the ball. We should have been force-feeding Xavier Robinson, just having him do literally the Zeke. He should have been feeding, punching down their throw, punching down their throw, punching down their throw, punching down their throw, punching down their throw. Should have ran through an MF's face. That's what we should have done. But we didn't do that. And somebody made a comment that I thought was extremely fascinating, and it kind of starting to ring true. It feels like Ben Arbuckle is more concerned in making sure John Mateer is successful rather than the team.
I'm not going to argue with that. And
like, it was a good point.
Because, again, like the Satania touchdown. The Satania touchdown was a scramble. And John Mateer, I mean, it was an adjustment to the route. John Mateer sees him. He throws it. He's gone. All the John Mateer ball has been – the best plays have all been scramble, getting guys out, making a play on the run. Quit running the GD play where John Mateer is holding the ball or pulling it. And so this is what I'm asking of Brent Venables, and this is where I'm going to hold him, is you need to walk over to your offensive coordinator and you say, listen, son, you saw the 65, right? Outside of the 65, X still averaged over 5 yards a carry. We were doing it correctly. But running John Mateer up the damn middle with those defensive tackles kept on blowing up. Listen, Foje and Fasusi, they had some down plays, but for the most part, those guys balled out. It was the middle. Gabe shared one where Michael got absolutely owned by one of those defensive tackles. Absolutely pushed him on his ass, went right through the line. Mateer had to scramble out to the side. So we got to quit going, oh, this thing, it's stupid. Like, there's running happening. You're going off. You're getting these chunks. And Xavier Robinson's not only getting hit still at 2-3 yards down the line, but he's pushing 3-4 yards. And when you want to see, and that's been the thing, is the guys got to come off the ball. They got to blast off the ball. And when X-Rob was out there, they're blasting off the ball. So there's got to be some conscious effort. If there's no conscious, I say this, Jay, to my kids all the time, to anybody. When you keep on doing wrong things, it's either you're not smart enough to understand that you're doing it wrong, or you don't give a damn.
Yeah.
And you just don't care. And so if you're going to continue to let John run these plays that are getting 1 yard, negative yards, 0 yards up the middle, and then you are doing 5 yards. It was the same thing against, Jeff Lebby back against KU, Jeff Lebby against Oklahoma State the last year. Like, you had that opportunity to keep on force feeding, and you do the same thing. Don't try to get cute. It's not cute to have something successful and then go, well, let me try something else. So I will say that is I put this two sides. 100% of the blame of this game goes on Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer not seeing shit. Like, it is.
Yeah.
It's
blind.
Frustrating, because how many times have we seen, again, in the Texas game and now in this game, to where guys are wide open and you're throwing the ball, that the throw on the last drive to Giovanni, Satania has a first down. And our defense saw it a couple times. There were a couple times where the defense did not, I saw one where Owen Heineke slipped. I saw one where Reggie Powers slipped. I saw another time where even Kendall Daniels slipped, but the throw was back behind him. The defense did not know where they were going. So they're going to have more capability of slipping versus the offense.
Right.
Satania runs that in and out, and he's wide open. So John Mateer, so Brent Venables, I think this is the first time where he actually said something about the offense, where he said, you're not going to win games, and, he's not going to like the film. I want Brent Venables to walk over to Ben Arbuckle and say, if you call another one of those damn runs, we're going to have a conversation with John Mateer.
Right, exactly. And to answer this question, thank you, the Green Arrow, for the $1.99. We appreciate it. Why isn't Hawkins getting a chance? Y'all saw Hawkins play against Kent State. And all I heard was
he threw for 160 yards or whatever against Kent State.
And I heard nothing but complaints. I'm just pointing out what I think. I mean, to me, it more so is probably something to do with practice. I don't know. I do think Hawkins probably would have done good in this game as well. I think Hawkins should have played in the Texas game. That would have just been a better option, and all y'all would have written that game off if he had a bad game, or if he had a good game, you would have praised him. It'd have been one of the two. But I heard complaints against Temple. I heard in these chats, I was hearing complaints about him in these chats. Like this chat, we were talking about him in the Temple game. I was like, his first game back, he had a little procedure in the offseason, but he looked stronger, blah, blah, blah. He's just getting used to the system. And all I heard was complaints. So I don't know. I don't know what y'all want me to say. I really don't in that situation. I think that Hawkins is going to get his shot, and I'm just going to, we're going to just wait until that happens. But the problem's not going to be about that portion of it. Here's your issue. This is the problem. I'm going to go ahead and walk y'all through this real quick. This is the second possession in the fourth quarter. Ole Miss got themselves helped out on that roughing the passer when we actually was chasing the quarterback. We were doing what we're supposed to do, and their lineman was pushing us while we were also pushing towards the quarterback. So their lineman pushed us in the final of that, and Jayden Jackson hits his shoulder, and they called roughing the passer. That was an absurdity. But I told y'all, again, do not let the refs dictate your success. because you're going to get some on your side and you're going to get some go against you. So don't try to lean in on them whatsoever. So let me point that part out. So they ended up continuing that drive, and they ended up getting the score. Cool. 31-26 is a 5-point game. This was the next possession right here. They kicked the ball off. 6-yard run by Xavier Robinson. For some reason, John Mateer ran the ball. 2 yards. Okay, fine. 8. Next run, Xavier Robinson, 8-yard run. First down. Next play, they had a feeling that was going to happen. So we ran the ball. We got 1 yard. 2nd and 9. So instead of John Mateer throwing the ball when he was open, he didn't. He ended up getting chased down by Princewell, and he got sacked. Next play, incomplete. We punted. I don't understand why we didn't see Xavier Robinson here as well as Xavier Robinson here at the sack and the incompletion. Why don't we just hand him the ball? That was where my complaint came in. No. Like, I didn't understand why we just didn't force feed X-Rob the rest of the game, because that's the one thing that even people have said about Ole Miss. Their struggle comes in the second half, especially because their dudes usually are doing 80-something snaps. Yeah. Like they ran 80-something, I think it was 84 snaps their top guy did last week against Georgia. Them dudes were starting to get gas, and it's humid here, especially when it rains. The sun was out, and we looked good. Why? That humidity started to hit them boys. Now, it's humid in Mississippi, too, so they should have some sort of an acclimation, but it was getting swampy. And you know it, right? So, yeah, we punt the ball there. We get a 3-and-out. Shout out to the defense. And then we punt the ball, and Satania fumbles it. That's right there when all of the air left the stadium. You punted. You fumbled it. From there.
Yeah, you did.
From there. We give up some big plays because the defense is basically like, WTF. We just got off the field. Get a field goal. You hold them to a field goal. Then it's all this. 9-yard pass, 60-yard pass. Not bad. Why is he running it at the 50-yard line? Why isn't that a handoff to Xavier Robinson? I don't know. We missed it. Incomplete. Pass interference. I'll take it because the ball was thrown, so a pass interference happens. Totally there from that. Why did he run it there? That made no sense. X-Rob. Oh, my God. 7-yard run. So, this was mentioned in the chat. I think it's from my boy Jake. He mentioned this. They had to teach, Bob Stoops had to teach Lincoln Riley how to run. A lot of these air raid coaches don't know how to just run the ball. Just go run it down on MF's face. They don't know that. They had to teach that to Lincoln Riley. They finally taught him that. Just hand the ball off. Literally, Lane Kiffin was giving it to you. He said, here, dog, I'm just going to go ahead and give you, I'm going to let y'all come back. Like that play, the fumble took the air out the stadium because when Lane tried to go for it on 4th down on his side and we got it and then only got a field goal and we should have got a touchdown, that's where the air just came out. It was done. We were cooked at that point, Coop. Sorry I went very long. But that was
it's okay. But again, another reviewable play with Isaac Satania. It's just inexcusable. So it's a situation where, guys, I'm going to go ahead and say this is that team did it. I mean, that team literally was the better team by the score, and I think that was it. So I think that you can look at them and go, all right, guys, that's on us, coaches. That's on us. And again, I'm happy to see that BV said Mateer's not going to like the tape. I'm happy to see that even your quarterback's not playing great. But here's the thing, John, I love your admission that my eyes weren't great. Get the damn things great. Whether you need to go to Sooner, whether you need to go to Sooner Scoop and get your
LASIK.
Your LASIK view, whatever it is. But I don't think that the eyes weren't super great. I really think that the Texas game bothered John with the interceptions. And he is playing tentative. He's holding stuff back, and he's unwilling to let it rip. Well, I can tell you this. Throw the damn ball. Get it to where it needs to go. If you're going to stare down a dude, that's fine. Whatever needs to happen. But I'm throwing it in again. The season's not over. It is not over. I don't think that this team is going to end up at losing every other game. I don't believe that at all. Texas A&M just went and whooped the absolute hell out of LSU. Tennessee was held in check by Kentucky for a little while. And I'll say this, Alabama,
stinky game.
Alabama went and almost lost to South Carolina. South Carolina handed them that game. And that's a game where we just went into that stadium and took it to them. But in order to win these games, you've got to remove the stupidity. You got to remove shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah,
and so now,
the point here that Jimmy just pointed out, he's looking back there, looking like Jackson Arnold right now. That's the thing that annoys the hell out of me.
He is. You got to throw the damn ball because taking the sacks and all that BS. Now, is it better than last year? Yes, it's better than last year.
We've thrown more passing yards this season already. Yes, it's better than last year.
It is better than last year. Now,
it's not good enough.
We are used to going out and scoring 35, 45 points a game. That's not happening anymore. But when you do not see guys, I don't know what needs to happen, but I tell you what, there's times where Javonte Gibson was open. There's times where Satania was open. There's times where Burks was open. You got to be better about these things. And if it's a situation where you're getting blown up, up the middle because those defensive tackles were letting them through, then guess what? Go look and see what Lane Kiffin was doing and make a gosh darn adjustment. Almost slipped there.
Yeah.
You got to make your adjustments.
Yeah.
But I will say the Satania fumble on the punt return. Ugh. I don't think that I don't think that you need to replace him. Dude was trying to make a play. Like it was a bad situation. He got hit coming down on his back. But you need to understand read the room, understand the situation. I don't care. I mean, if you're going to keep the ball, the goal is to end up with the ball. You can't
cover the ball with both arms like this moving forward. I think that's the thing that bothers me about that play with Satania. It's the little details like you mentioned. It's the understanding, reading the room and knowing where you're at. If Satania does this and while he's jumping in the air, he jumps in the air like this, like a running back does. Like Tiki Barber used to always hold it up here because he fumbled all the time. And then you just put it here and do that same jump and then keep running like this. You can pick up your speed if you keep going, but you knew you were about to get tackled. You should have just laid it down. To me, you fall to the ground and continue to go forward. That's all you got to do. From there, though, no. I mean, and I said this, Cherokee. I've been pointing out a lot of this stuff. Like, Burks was wide open with 12 seconds left in the game. He's wide open deep. Like Gabe was preaching that, and I'm trying to get a hold of the all 22 so that I can look right there at that play. Dude's just chilling, wide open. They're like, dude, you throw it to him, it's you have a chance to tie the game. And that's all you wanted was a chance. But unfortunately, we wouldn't have ran the ball with X-Rob up the middle. We would have had John Mateer try to scramble around and do something, and I would have just gave the ball to X-Rob and let him run down their throat. But I digress. It's all about the little details. It's all about the discipline required, and that's something that BV has struggled with since he's been here on the opposite side of the ball. And I know that he hired a guy specifically to let him try to do that. He needs to get, I put it this way. I don't even think he should yell at Ben Arbuckle. You know who I think he should yell at, Coop? Kevin Wilson. You used to be a head coach. You've been a head coach at numerous stops. You're here as an analyst to help him out. Why aren't you in his tail about stuff like that? Little details. Why aren't you in his tail about that? That is one of those where you hire those veteran minds like that to help say, hey, young buck, holla at me. Pull back on this. No, run. You should run the ball here. The reason is this team usually gives up run yards in the second half a lot. This, to me, is an old head problem. This is an old head they need to pull up the young buck and teach him. BV purposely wanted to hire this guy, and he brought Kevin Wilson in because he would like, if he can focus on the defense, guess what? Statistically and efficiency-wise, you rank top 5. That's what you wanted. Like, that's what you wanted to get to because the SEC is so tough, right? Like, you get to that point And if you can get the offense rolling enough, then you're good. Like, you don't need the offense to be perfect. You need to be competent. Like, that's it. And if you got there, this is where we were going. But then you threw it all away by not having the old head check the young buck and let him know. No pun intended. But hey, Buck, my boy, run it through their face. This is what we used to do here. And that's how we were successful in the early 2000s. I promise you. That's what Kewan Lacey did to us to start. He was hitting holes and he wasn't cutting a lot. He was hitting a hole and he was turning and going at an angle. You didn't see a lot of jump cuts, you didn't see a bunch of fanciness from him. He was just head down, nose down, run it at your face. You do that in this conference, you see success. Especially when your defense is stout enough to force problems on them. When the weather cleared up, the defense showed up better. We got out coached on that. That's why the defense looked so bad. They were out coached. And it's a struggle against dudes that are air raid like that. Sorry, I went on a long rant. But that to me is what bothered me so darn much. Ole Miss did not play that great. They played good enough.
Yeah.
We let them off the hook.
You let them off the hook by getting cute. Instead of, listen, I'll say it again. This ain't like playing little brother on PlayStation with college football and you quit going to the play that he can't stop. You make them stop the ball, and you make it happen. And I say it again. X-Rob was a guy who was turning 2-yard carries into 6-yard carries. He's hard to tackle, especially dude is wet from falling on the ground. You're not tackling X-Rob with an arm tackle. So I want to see a little bit more out there. Plus, where the hell's Kanik? Like you have to be able to see what is there and take advantage of it. And you got to stay away from the things. Like, if you keep on running plays that ain't working, if John Mateer's having trouble throwing the ball and hitting guys that are wide open, then run the ball. It was working. It was working.
It was working. Just do it.
And guess what, Jay? Things that travel, running game and defense.
They do.
So this week, what you need to do is you need to go to Knoxville and you need to understand that defense is not very good. And you need to run the ball, because what does that do? It helps out your defense. You don't have them playing 35 minutes in the rain and compounding. But I told you, Jay, if I was Ole Miss, I would have taken the Texas game plan. You don't got to go deep. You don't got to go big bombs. You don't got to do that stuff. You just avoid putting yourself in negative yardage.
Yep.
And you do the 1,000 paper cuts. And that's what they did. Now, they got helped out a couple times by us on some missed tackles.
Yep.
Not making some adjustments. But the second half, we made the adjustments. We really did. It was too late by that point because you got too much time on the field. But our guys continue to show up. And again, listen, this is best offense in the SEC. One of the best offenses in the SEC. They were it's a very, very good team.
Yeah.
You lost this one.
We did. And I want to point out, let's talk about why this loss, even though Sooner fans are jumping off of bridges and out building tops and stuff, why we need to pull back a little bit on it. I'm going to explain to y'all why. Of course, we got to pay this bill. Shout out to our partnership with Sleeper. If you think you know knowledge on the sports game, test your luck. Giving you a bonus, 100% match on your first deposit up to $100 using our promo code UNFAIR, and then they're going to give you $20 if you're new, just to test them out. And so let's go take a gander at some of these NBA games. I mean, I don't get my Thunder, unfortunately, but I don't think Marcus Smart's going to have 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going to pick less. Is Wemby in here? I think I want some Wembanyama love because Victor is really good this year. And you can even jump into some of these games live. Like, we can look at this live game right here. Siakam, they ain't got nothing there, but they got a little something here for Obi Toppin. Will he get 13.5? I'm going to go ahead and take less on that. But 2 or more players, more or less on the stats. And, of course, money can be made up to 1,000 times your money. So check them out. Use the promo code UNFAIR. Get 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. And you'll get $20 just for signing up. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up. Please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Coop, I want to talk about why, as everybody is mad, and rightfully so. Don't believe. Keep it at a buck. I've told y'all this numerous times. I ain't gonna be mad at y'all for being mad, because I am mad too. Y'all have a right to be there. I'm just gonna let y'all know if y'all crazy on some of y'all's madness, because sometimes we do get a little irrational. We lose our minds. We all do. I do it. Coop do it. I do it. We talk about it all the time. But AP poll dropped, of course. Oklahoma drops down to 18, which isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I actually thought they would consider just taking us out of it, but they realized we beat Michigan, who's number 21. That was when John Mateer was healthy. That was probably one of our more solid ones. We did lose to Texas. Texas had back-to-back overtime games against teams everyone believes they should not have had back-to-back overtime games against. But look at Ole Miss there, Coop. Number 7 in the country. That was a battle with a team that was probably going to end up in the top 10 at some point. They're not a terrible squad. They're questionable in a lot of ways. I mean, they're right behind Georgia. That's the team that they lost to is Georgia. The only team they lost to is the number 5 team in the country. But they did everything they're supposed to do to win the games that were placed in front of them. And so, yeah, when you look at it, I totally understand why anybody would be upset by us losing. But AP poll got us there at 18, and so does the coaches poll. Ole Miss, top 10 team in the country. I think they got it right. And the way Ole Miss's schedule is set up, Coop, I'm looking at it right now. They're
not losing another game.
they're probably going to go 11-1. South Carolina next week, which
we've synced
them up. We've synced Ole Miss lose games to teams at home that they weren't supposed to lose to, a la Kentucky last year. South Carolina could be a trap for them. Get the Citadel right afterwards. The Florida game, I don't think they beat Florida. I am like 99.9% chance they ain't beating Florida. I mean, they're beating Florida. Florida's not beating them at all.
I was going to say.
Egg Bowl fascinates me, though. Yeah, they're going to win that game. There's zero. You can't make me think in any way, shape, or form that Mississippi State can win that game. And wait, did it get announced? Did the job of the year get announced just now? No, it has not been. Is it official? Has it been said? There's no way. Hold a second. Oh, wow. Brian Kelly is in a standoff and disagreement over staff changes, so that means that they're probably going to fire that man. Brian Kelly's probably going to be jobless. That's crazy. That'd be crazy. But anyway, we're still searching for that. But back to kind of what I was here to talk about is what here they go. Ole Miss. Let me pull up their schedule for y'all here. This is what they got left. Florida, they got the bye week before Mississippi State, so I don't think they lose that game because the bye week's right before there is perfect for them. The Florida game is at home, which is good. South Carolina, so they're basically at home all the way into the Egg Bowl. And Mississippi State's actually a very tough team to play this year. Levy's got them boys balling. But yeah, Coop, they probably ain't gonna lose another game for the rest of the year. Like my guy at Locked On Ole Miss said, he thought that their 2 losses would be these 2 road games, and then they would finish the year 10-2. And I think he's spot on. Now I think South Carolina may be the spoiler, but I still think they finished 10-2. That's crazy.
And it just goes to show you, like, that's a game you could have won. So you sit here with all the turmoil and frustration, and I saw the question a few minutes ago, and I'll say this. it doesn't matter what's ahead of us. If you go in and you lose to Tennessee, Bama, Missouri, LSU, if you lose out, yeah, I think that the conversation around staff changes need to happen. And staff, I mean the head coach here at Oklahoma.
Yep.
And that's what I would say. Now, it makes it even worse because Tennessee, I don't think that Aguilar has the capability to scramble around like Chambliss did, and that's the factor that beat us. That is 100% the factor that beat us in the rain with a slippery field. That's what happened.
Yep.
You still could have won that game. Missouri just lost their quarterback for the rest of the year. LSU got their ass whooped. And I mean, listen, hey, Texas A&M, they tried to mess around and they made that game closer than it was until the second half, and then it was just a track meet away. So you should be able to go to a very, very potential 50-50 game. I mean, the spread's -3. OU is a 3-point underdog, which typically when you go on the road with that situation, it's going to be a night game. It's going to be loud as hell up there. And you need to rally around. Listen, if Ben Arbuckle and this coaching staff does not lean on the run and go out and try to run the ball against Tennessee and win it that way, then yeah, then I'm going to join a little bit more on it, because that means you are unable of switching back. We wanted the running game. You found it in South Carolina. You saw the success this week, and then you went away with it. You make a mistake once, it's a mistake. If you make the mistake multiple times, it's not a mistake anymore. It is bad coaching.
Yeah, you made the choice that you want to do that to yourself.
And listen, going to Alabama is not an unbeatable situation. It's just not. But I will say this is you're going to have your A game. And so looking at the poll, I saw a lot of people going, hey, well, hold on a second. Why is OU still ranked ahead of Texas? OU's losses are to a top 10 team and your rival. Texas's losses are, Jay,
number one team in the country,
to a top 10 team and a team that's not going to finish above 500. That's why it is.
And it makes sense. Right.
And it was a meltdown, meltdown in Cowbellville. It was an absolute meltdown. I don't know if I've seen a meltdown like that in my life. But you got to go out there. I mean, you still have a lot of stuff. You still have playoffs in the front. And Brent Venables has to show that, hey, listen, I'm going to make these adjustments. These things are going to go. If he doesn't, then Jay, yeah, every single one of these frustrating situations are on the table still.
It is. So, to me, see, Missouri falling after the loss to Vandy. That was what their second loss. They lost to Bama and Vandy, so they've lost to two top 10 teams. That was intriguing to me that they moved them there. I honestly thought they would have been ahead of us. But they also are concerned. I think it's Bo Prabula being out. With Bo being out, that's probably where they're like, we're not going to – that's where that's going to go. Makes sense. But yeah, I am interested in the thought process with that. Michigan being back in there is, of course, helpful to Oklahoma. That's a win that's of importance. Now we need to win another top 25 game. Like, the game in Knoxville is critical. We've got to win that game. Missouri, I think Ole Miss's offense is better than Tennessee's right now. But I think Tennessee is a really good offense because Heupel's good. Now, granted, last year we gave Heupel the blues. Right? We gave him the blues.
Brent Venables has been able to knock Josh Heupel off of his game plan here and when it was Clemson versus us. It just is what it is. And like I said, I don't think that the scramblability, the ability to move around, is as high with Aguilar as it is for Chambliss. Plus, I mean, again, we'll have to see what the weather looks like this weekend up in Knoxville. I don't know what that looks like, but I mean, you don't have rainy field to play on, and I think that that's going to play a factor. But you got to go on there. And listen, it's not going to be easy, and I'm not. It doesn't matter if you win the game by one. That's all you need is to go up there and win by one. Yeah, but I do look through here too. I mean, you continue to look up and you see the team that listen, as I just said, Texas A&M went out there to LSU and just did whatever they did. I still don't know if I believe in Texas A&M, Jay. I really don't.
I'm sold on Elko. I think so. Like I know people. I'm surprised no one's in the comment section asking this question of only took Elko 2 years. Like only took Signetti 2 years. Why has it taken so long for Oklahoma and any other team? You know why, right? Like first off, Sig brought majority of his players with him from James Madison, and he had a bunch of dogs there, like dogs. 2, Elko recruited that defense that's there. No, they didn't come with him from Duke. They were at A&M when he recruited them at A&M. You gotta remember, he was only gone 2 years. So all those freshmen that he recruited that were tops players that he was able to retain, when he got back, they're juniors now. They're redshirt sophomores. There's some seniors in there because he was there. How long was he at A&M? Was he at A&M for like 4 years? Wasn't he underneath Jimbo Fisher for a while? Like he spent years. Okay, he was there from 2018 to 2021. He's there for 3 years. Went to Duke from 22 to 23, basically just 2 seasons, and came right back. He was the DC and safety coach. Remember, a lot like it was a Shamar Stewart who he had last year. Mm-hmm. They got drafted. That was his recruit. He was the guy counted for recruiting him at A&M, and he was at Duke for 2 years, and he came back. That's my point. He literally recruited that defense. Most of that defense was his dudes when he was DC. They were just young. And then when he came back, a lot of them was like, oh, yeah, we won't play for Elk. Hell yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's why. Sig brought all his kids with him, and that's where the big issue came from with BV was he should have probably poached many players as possible. I'm going to
switch over to our friends over there in Missouri. We'll find out. So by the time we see Missouri, we're going to know what this new offense is because Hardy was just balling, and he was everywhere. Mm-hmm. He has not eclipsed 100 yards in the past 3 games. Now they get A&M at home. Now they got to bye this week, so that's going to be good for them because they don't have to play. They can get Zellers in there and work it. Then November 8th, you got A&M at home. And then the 15th, you got Mississippi State at home. And then you end at Oklahoma, at Arkansas. So we'll get a chance to see. Now, I really, really, really feel that, I feel bad for Bella, because a lot of quarterbacks have gotten hurt this year. Also, Arch took that side shot, head bounced off the turf. That was so brutal. He did not know where he was.
So yeah, he's probably they're gonna probably need to sit him for a bit. That's a tough one. It looks like it's the LSU has just called a team meeting at 8 p.m. Central Time. That dude's gone. Congratulations to whoever put the bet out there that Brian Kelly be fired. That man is out the door. That's one crazy. Coop, let's talk about let's go around the country, man. Let's talk about games that happened in our beloved conference, as long-standing members of the SEC. Being able to see our teams thrive like we get to, man, it's such a, it's a beautiful thing, right? We getting to do this is always a plus. So thank y'all for pulling up. Please hit that like button if you are new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. We've already paid the bills twice. We need to do that no more. Let's talk about some games around SEC, man. Of course, we were the headliner of stupidity. Texas A&M destroys LSU, and now they fire their coach. That, to me, one, as expected. People hate that dude. I don't know if you knew that.
Everywhere.
A lot of people know
wherever
that.
He's at.
They hate that dude. They hate that dude.
In fact, hold on. You know, whenever you have, I'm going to throw some shade at a dude that comes from that place. Odell Beckham Jr. Like, everybody was like, but I can fix him. And then they bring him in. Notre Dame wanted dude gone. And LSU, it didn't take long before the Cajun accent wasn't cute anymore. But the reason why Brian Kelly is getting fired is because his inability to adapt and his bristle against the public. I've got a good friend who works for the media group down there in Louisiana, and they have been calling this for a little while. But Nussmeier getting hurt, that offensive line losing absolutely everybody, their inability to run the ball. You got bigger expectations. LSU is going to fire. I mean, hell, when homeboy won a national championship, is gone 2 years later. That tells you that they're not going to play around. They're going to bounce. But that's also where they are going to spend this time in where they're at. Like, Brian Kelly was never taking that team to a national championship. That guy is just not somebody that you want to get behind. And Jay, I can tell you this: Nussmeier is out there barely walking. I mean, having trouble walking and fighting and grinding out. He gets absolutely lit up, and he goes to the sideline. Brian Kelly starts getting up in his grill. That's the moment when I was like, dude's gone this weekend. He's not going to, because they had expectations.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little surprised though that his severance is 54. Well, right now it's 54 million. They're negotiating to allow, because I think he's gonna go try for one big job. I think he's gonna go after the Penn State game job.
If Penn State, hey, if you want to do that, you're bringing the crazy chick home, and you know how it's going to end. It's going to be just like James Franklin.
It's going to be 10-win seasons every year, and that's all they care about. They won't get over the hump. They're just going to have to figure out how to they got to figure that out.
Oh my gosh! But
right.
I will say this too, though. The reason why I said I'm not really sold on A&M could have put that game away in the first half, and they didn't. Yeah. I still don't believe Marcel Reed when the pressure's really there. Listen, with Concepcion, with the little speedster guy that they got. I mean, they've got weapons on weapons. They got run 4 deep on in the running backs. They have monsters on the offensive line. I feel like that game should have been probably, a little bit more towards 2 or 3 score game at halftime. They just always let somebody back in. Now, A&M could be good. I got to see it to believe it, because but they took care of business. I got to say that Van Buren came in, and he looked pretty good at the end, but LSU is that is a team you have at home and at night in Death Valley, and you get blown out by 24 points. Like, that's between Brian Kelly screaming at his quarterback, bristling at the press, bristling at the fans, all that mess. And then, at this point, if you cared about your job, you would say, all right, guys, what do you think that I should do? Because guess what, Jay? In my mind, is if you have all this administration and all these boosters coming in saying you need to do X, Y, and Z, he fired the strength and conditioning coach, who's now at A&M tearing it up.
Supposedly they
And
had they were rocking oh, and it's official.
is it official?
104.5 ESPN. The guys I know at LouisianaSports.net. I trust them 100%. I know them personally. They just popped it out. It's done. Goodbye. And On3 just posted it.
And Harold Perkins. Oh, never mind. That's fake. Disregard.
Yeah, he's not. He's a senior. He ain't going nowhere. And it's funny. I posted out there. I told people because I was hearing that he's probably going to be fired.
Well, it seems like every single week there is going to be a coach fired from here on out.
Yeah, and it's funny. And it's funny we talk about that. And this is an interesting conversation here, though, right? What's intriguing about it is how early people are getting fired. Like, we're used to coaches getting fired later in the season, closer to the end, right? We're seeing coaches getting fired in September and early October or mid to late October now, right? You're getting people fired early. And what's so intriguing about it is teams are now doing their coaching searches early, so much earlier. But how are they going to hold off until like what's that end of until December when the portal really opens? Right?
Well, it's
so yeah, here's your official piece right there. It's done.
Yeah, you want to. I mean, at this point, you're gonna want people to know what's going on. You're gonna want to get the thing settled. You're gonna want to try to find a coach. The thing that really confuses me is, let's go with the Lane Kiffin stuff. Is we thought that was going to be a little bit more bigger distraction than it probably ended up being. A lot of people watching his body language on the sideline, and as I was hearing some of that stuff, driving to and fro from the soccer game. They were talking about him not being animated. Then I rewatched the game. The guy was Lane Kiffin. But if Lane Kiffin goes deep in the playoffs, I mean, are you announcing that? So say that Lane Kiffin goes to Florida. Say that now Brian Kelly's probably, if he goes to Penn State's not going to be in the playoff scenario. I mean, hell, there's a good chance they may not make a bowl game. But you want to be able to get guys in, create, and get the momentum and everything for the recruiting stuff. But I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of these recruiting classes, there's going to be a lot of movement.
And Hayes had posted a tweet out there saying that keep your eyes on the swivel. Yeah. That portal about to be cooking.
Because I know that I think that OU looks like they're making a run at the Rogers kid from Penn State, the receiver. Looking in here. LSU currently the number 10 class. I mean, there's a lot of guys in there. Now, the thing is with LSU, they got a lot of Louisiana kids, and those kids typically don't leave. They stay there. They hang out there. Their 5-star quarterback is from Louisiana. Some of their top top guys are out of Louisiana. As I'm just looking through here, 3 of their top 4 from Louisiana. So, and then other guys are from Florida, and they're not hanging out around home because there's not a Florida school that's doing too well.
Ooh, John Summerall at LSU would be horrifying. Do not say that. You know who else would be horrifying at LSU? Lane Kiffin. Like, I would like Lane Kiffin at Florida. I do not want him at LSU. I actually prefer him to stay at Ole Miss. That would actually make me a lot happier. But there's a chance they could. Possibly. Yes, Jonathan. BV's getting 5 years. His defense has proven that it's gotten better. They're 100% going to give him his 5th year. Sorry. 26 will be his year of, if it doesn't work out, they go find somebody else.
And unless there is just an absolute meltdown and you lose the rest of the games.
Yeah.
Be the only way that I would say, all right, people will do it. Because listen, I don't care what's going on in the economy. we have seen already this year that when boosters will get together, they will fire anybody. Anybody. Yep. And so you got to understand also is that's typically how the game works. And if boosters aren't getting together to fire Brent Venables, then they're not going to listen to a bunch of people on social media.
Here's a good point here. I love this one from Jonathan as well. Peyton Houston, come home. Come on home, Poppy.
Well, listen, I'm looking through here. We got Deuce Gerald's. We were down in the final three, Ohio State, Oklahoma, LSU. You got DeAnthony Lafayette, an edge. He's out of Orlando, Florida. You got some offensive linemen that we were into early. You've got guys like McKinley and his younger brother. Those are guys. Now they're Louisiana guys, so maybe they stick. But Louisiana has got. I mean, LSU's they got a pretty fire recruiting class, and if they're going to want to keep that thing together, man, I don't know, Jenna. I mean, that's. I
would love Caden Durham, but I don't think he's coming to Oklahoma. I think he's good.
I don't think he's coming home, but I don't know if he's.
You're right.
Yeah, and that's 100%. 100%.
Got them scared, man. Sid got them scared. That's the funniest thing in the world to me.
But we want to still see what Signetti does against some big boys in the playoffs because Oregon's showing that they're not terrific this year.
Hey man, I'm here for the we definitely got to go get and didn't everybody tell us we got to go get Dan Lanning?
I mean, they're skirting by. they're skirting by some pretty weak teams, and the one team that they played with, it didn't go their way. But yeah, I mean, there's more coming, and I keep on freezing, so I don't know what's going on. But I don't think it's done. I mean, from what it looks like is, I bet that there's probably two more in the SEC that happened before the year.
Oh yeah.
Now, now, and I'm not even talking fired because were some weirdness that right before the games kicked off this past weekend, there was NFL and Sark rumors starting to kind of get out there.
That's a fascinating one, and I know all my Texas friends and people I know are saying there's no chance that he leaves, and I know somebody NFL wise has said, "Nah, dog, there's legitimate." It's real. It's conversations. Will it happen? Probably not. But they're like, nah, don't discount it. When I heard that, I was like, oh, okay.
Well, we've got a friend who meddles in the agent arena, and it's not nothing. Now, I will say this is. If does Texas play this week? Before I say that, does Texas play this week, or do they got to?
I believe so.
Oh yeah, they got Vandy. That's right. They got Vandy, Georgia, Arkansas A&M. So if Arch has to miss that game, I think that's a really, really bad scenario. Not because of Arch being the better or not as good option for them. And I know we got off of going over the scores, but
it's okay. Going through the games, it's all right.
It's if Caldwell plays and Caldwell plays well, that could turn into something. In my personal opinion, because I think that the now Arch, yes, did he have a great game against Mississippi State? Yes, he had a great game last year. His best game of the year so far.
He's growing,
but. Is Sark tired of this? Is Sark tired of the politicians? Is Sark tired of all that mess? And I listen to guys on the radio, listen to guys elsewhere who dabble in that arena of the agents, and a lot of these coaches are kind of tired of messing with the NIL stuff. So, but it's going to be.
That was one of the reasons why Saban got out of it. He got tired of dealing with. He got tired of dealing with the NL stuff. I get it for some, but
yeah,
wouldn't be a reason why I quit. But what else?
But let's talk. Okay, so we talked about that. Alabama, South Carolina, Jay.
That was a fascinating game.
It's that game, I had zero faith that South Carolina was going to stay. Like I said, I thought that was going to be one of those games where Alabama goes out and throws up like a little 35-0 or 35-3 or something like that. And South Carolina gave them fits the entire game until South Carolina made a couple mistakes in the fourth.
I had zero faith in South Carolina winning that game. I hoped that they won. I had zero faith. And then when I saw, I think what told me was they let Jeremy Bernard go for the touchdown. You saw the guy pull up and let him run up the sideline for the touchdown. I thought that was stupid. Then after that, Shane Beamer says, yeah, we went ahead and let them score so that we can get the ball back. With 34 seconds left, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
South Carolina has never been confused with a quick strike offense. But, Jay, Alabama's got a running the ball issue because they had Jam Miller back, and they ran for 3.1 yards a carry on 23 carries. Jam Miller led them with 10 carries, 26 yards. We just saw OU go down there and run the ball really well against South Carolina. And so that's why I say that game at Alabama is they're going to have to be one-dimensional. It's going to have to be – now, they got great wide receivers. Jeremy Bernard, great wide receiver. Ryan Williams, we know who he is. They had Daniel Hill kind of pop up and get out there too. But, I mean, that's going to be a one-dimensional game for Oklahoma. And it almost caught Alabama this week. And I don't want to hear anything about playing at South Carolina at night. That team's on like
Sandstorm
walk-ons.
Sandstorm, baby. Sandstorm.
That team is playing walk-ons at offensive line. They are very, very, very thin. But hey, listen, you every single game, one possession game. You except for the A&M game, that's you look at Missouri, you look at Texas, you look at Auburn, Arkansas. Like, these games are close all the time. Yeah,
you're seeing good battles. That Auburn, Arkansas was interesting. You saw Jackson Arnold got benched, and did you see why he got benched? I know I put it in the court, and I thought it was hilarious. But I don't know if you saw that because you were out there being a parent and stuff and freezing your butt off while at soccer games. But you see why he got benched?
Was it the Kanai pick six?
Kanai Walker got a pick six on him. Kanai Walker. Nothing
a little bit faster than some of those offensive linemen.
Right. Kanai Walker played on the same team as him. So he knew what was coming.
Well, and I'll say this too, Jay, he's always been afraid to throw the ball because of those things. And so it's funny that an ex-teammate's the reason why he kind of got the dagger. But, Auburn still, they went out and scored 33 points, 17 in the fourth quarter. Auburn's defense is still legit, and Arkansas has a great offense, but and they just couldn't compete there in the fourth quarter. And did it save Hugh Freeze, or is Hugh Freeze next? Because I still think that Hugh Freeze is probably one that we'll see before the end of the year also. Because it's not the freshman playing, the exciting freshman. It is the Stanford transfer, right?
Yep. Ashton Daniels. And he played good at the end of that game. He looked good. Thought it was a good choice. He was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was worth the entire cost of admission. Last one on here.
Brian Kelly, front page of ESPN.
Front page. Of course he is. Gotta be. This is front page stories, man. It's front page news. Craziness. Oh, yeah, by the way, I want to tell y'all, I went and looked. John Mateer has thrown for 1,790 yards so far this season. Only 8 touchdowns, 6 picks. Jackson Arnold had 1,400 yards all of last season. Just FYI. We're on a way better pace right now than we were last year. Let's just enjoy the ride. Hopefully he fixes his brain. Stop having spaghetti up there. In his eyes.
LASIK.
I think somebody needs to go get him some LASIK. I'm totally here to go help him get some LASIK. But Brian Kelly got fired. That's just crazy to me. But anyway, last game I want to talk about, really the rest of these aren't really that interesting. It's really Missouri Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt is legitimately good.
It concerns me.
I think you should be terrified about them and their defense and the way they play ball.
It concerns me because when did Pribula get hurt? Pribula, or however you say his name.
Yeah, Bo got hurt late in the game. Like Zoller didn't come in, I think it's like third or fourth? Fourth quarter, I think he came in.
I mean, he threw 23 passes, so I mean, there had to be some time in there. But I listen. I thought this game was going to be a decently big win for Vanderbilt, anyway.
Oh, he came in third.
And
it was third. He came in.
And Pavia 10 of 19, 121 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Vanderbilt's good. And they're going to get another test. I mean, I don't know if Missouri's defense is better or Texas' defense is better because Ant Hill and Colin Simmons are starting to really play some. I mean, they're making plays and they're making big explosive plays. They are doing much, much better. And this, we will see what happens this week because Texas gets to go home for the first time in a month and Vanderbilt gets to come in. Vanderbilt's going to believe that they can win that game, and
they're going to.
We'll see what We'll see what happens on offense because it is. Is it going to be Caldwell? Is it going to be?
It's going to be Caldwell. Has to be. If it's a concussion, I would not risk it. You probably give him a week because you got a bye week in between there, and then it's Georgia, so probably take the breather. But
it's going to be interesting at DKR because those fans are going to be excited. But I promise you this is...
Frightening is so funny.
We put up 24 points. We hang with anyone. Listen, Cowbell Land doesn't have...
Read it. Keep reading it.
No, I read it.
That's a good one. That's a good point.
Well.
Yeah,
hey.
Probably it's a very fair point. You're right. You put up 24 points, give Mississippi State, and mounted a comeback. And, yeah, you can put it up when you play well.
I will say this. I'll give my youngest son if you will trade us Niblet because I would love
Niblet is a
to have
beast.
Niblet at the punt return. Dude,
Texas always got like one or two dudes that I actually like, and I hate that I like them, but I like them. Niblet's one of them.
Niblet's one of them.
Like Bijan was one of my favorite backs in college football. I hated his guts.
He was.
That's why he played there, but I love him in the NFL right now. But I loved him coming in. Like I just loved his style. I just loved how he played.
He reminded me of like Quentin Griffin with NFL caliber traits.
Size.
Would not go down. Just would not go down. He was always good. Quentin Griffin always had that patented, he would be like almost down to the ground. He's also 5'6", but almost down on the ground would just put his arm down and just run like three-legged and stay up. And Bijan, it's just some of the best balance I've ever seen in my life from a running back.
Balance.
Outside of Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders is probably the only one that I've seen that had like absolute just better balance than Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, and honestly, and it's not even any shade to him, I felt like Bijan had better balance than Ricky Williams, and Ricky was so much fun to watch. But Bijan is the athleticism was absurd. And he didn't look big, but he was a lot bigger than he actually appeared. Benji, I'm sorry, man. I'm not allowed to like you. It just can't happen, man. I'm sorry, dog. I'm teasing, man. I'm teasing you. But yeah. Yeah, no, whew. But anyway, Niblet, monster. You got to stop punting to that dude. Somebody's going to figure that out one of these days.
Hey, Hey,
But I think that Vanderbilt's going to walk in there with the confidence that they think can win, in which I cannot wait to break down this game later this week. We're going to do that. I think that's really it, man. We're going to go ahead and let the people go. It's been about an hour and a half. We went long, but this was fun. Thank y'all for pulling up. Please hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. We will talk about the Tennessee game Wednesday night. I don't. We'll see what Coop's got going. I think the weather's supposed to be stinky, so Coop should be available. It appears.
Hey, I'm done. I'm done with soccer for like 2 weeks, and I need it because.
Nice. All right, then we're gonna go Wednesday night. We'll go live Wednesday night. I don't have anything going on. But if you're gonna be in Knoxville, let me know. I'll be in the Knox. Holla at your boy. But I'll be there. So, but we're out. Y'all make sure y'all rest and smile. It's a new week, and we're gonna flush this one down the toilet too. Peace.